people listening to me. Love the attention, huh? Alrighty. Good evening, respected peers, teachers, administrators, and parents. What's going on, y'all? Come on, we're graduating. Loosen up. Alrighty, to start off, I would like everybody to close their eyes. Go on, close them. Full participation here. Let's go. Now I want you to listen to my voice very carefully. Listen, come on, it's not a joke. When was the last time you heard my voice like this? Have you ever heard my voice like this? No, probably not. Because back in high school, I sounded a little more like this. Hello, friends! Usually, when this laugh was heard by kids around me, sometimes a couple floors above me, they used to crack a smile. However, when this laughter was hollered out as a cry of excitement on being named the Valedictorian of the graduating class of 2010, smiles bloomed on everyone's faces, except for one person, Mrs. Carmichael. Mrs. Carmichael had the unfortunate responsibility of taking control of this valedictorian speech, and unfortunately she got stuck with a high-risk speaker as myself. Following that grad assembly, I was quickly approached by Mr. Jones and Mrs. Carmichael, who share the burden of this valedictorian address, and they gave me a very stern warning. They looked me right in the eyes and said, "You better not mess this up, kid." That's the life of Zuhair right there. I'm just a liability. But on a more serious note, I would like to take this moment to thank the many people behind tonight's event. They've done a great job. Everything's looking great. As are you guys. Alrighty. While I'm still thanking everyone, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Fraser Haig. You want to stand up and wave? Enjoy the limelight. You must be wondering why I'm saying thank you to Mr. Haig. Out of all the teachers, honestly, why Mr. Haig? Well, at the end of the 3 consecutive semesters that I was in Mr. Haig's history class, lucky you, Fraser, lucky you. So at the end of every semester, Mr. Haig would leave us with a plea with flailing disproportionate arms. Walks in with this literally scrawny little arms and says, "If any of you guys wins an Oscar, a Nobel Prize, or anything of that sort, you must thank me for being the greatest history teacher ever." Undoubtedly, right? Now, I'm not going home with any hardware like Angie or Brian, but I've got the stage, my microphone, spotlight, so I figured now's a good time as any. So thank you, Mr. Haig. And for the mere sake of political correctness, I guess I'll extend a thank you to the rest of faculty as well. I jest. Each and every one of you has left a mark on me, albeit in the form of a bruise on my left cheek after a parent-teacher interview. I'll never forget you. However, the most notable thank you goes to you guys, the graduating class of 2010, for making my high school experience unforgettable. It was with you guys that I got to experience all the many great things that we did as a school. The dances, the athletic banquets, the fundraising events, prom, semi-formal, all that good stuff. To highlight our unity, is small typing. Give me a break already. So to highlight our unity through all these co-curricular events, I want to draw upon one big one that I found really special. And this is the fantastic fundraising work that we did as a school to help aid the Haitian relief effort for the earthquake earlier this year. I thought it was fantastic how everybody came together, overcame their differences, and achieved this common goal. We raised a lot of money in just like a week of fundraising, so applause to that. Another such common goal that we had was obviously getting through high school alive. Here we are, so another round of applause. So I mentioned a bit of the differences that we all had a little earlier, so allow me to take a moment and expand on those. The diversity of the student body can be generalized into the button shirt, combed hair, or, people who walk around like gangsters, looking like fools with their pants on the ground. Or like the ones in like the mini skirts and like the extra large frappuccinos and like the Louis Vuitton purse and like all that good stuff. And of course we've got the kids in the dark clothing and more piercings than teeth. I mean, we love you all. But honestly, let's face it, some of us are Macs, others are PCs. Excuse the nerdy analogy, but it's the truth. These differences, however, were covered up in green and gold over the last 4 years at Cameron Heights. The school spirit and our common love for each other totally erased these differences. I can honestly say that this kind of unity is really hard to come by. And I'd like to take this moment to quote Kesha. No one says it better than her. What you've got, Gales, is hard to find. I think about it all the time. Whoa, 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 hang on to that. I'll stop before you throw the tomato at me. Sorry about the Kesha. Now I understand you might not want to listen to the rest of my speech after, I uttered the K word. But hear me out for just one more second. I just want to leave you guys with a message, a little piece of advice, in return for all the invaluable experiences and knowledge I've gained over the past 4 years with you guys. This message is simply this: take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. Does that sound familiar? A lot of you may recognize that as Miss Frizzle's motto from Magic School Bus. Yeah! Hooray for late 90s. Alrighty, so where am I? Alright, so whenever life is taking you on a field trip, like the ones on Magic School Bus, some of you might be a little hesitant, not too sure about this field trip, and you might pull an Arnold, the orange-haired kid. You might pull an Arnold and say, please let this be a normal field trip, or I wish I stayed home today. But the reality is this: you can't always go on normal field trips. You have to be willing to go on the more unconventional ones, to say the least. Or if you're like me and have immigrant parents where staying at home is not an option despite having an intense fever, you gotta weather the storm. You gotta get out there. You've got to try something new, because life is gonna throw stuff at you, and it's entirely up to you whether you choose to go off on a tangent and take the opportunity. Tangent, I scare you. I'm sorry. I'm not talking about calculus. What I'm talking about is having a high-risk, high-reward way of thinking. Honestly, the greatest experiences in life come when you step a little outside of your comfort zone. Take my example, for instance. I was given the opportunity to do IB at Cameron Heights and make the half-hour drive every morning and afternoon, or walk half a block and arrive at the brand new shiny glass doors of Sir John A. Macdonald's Secondary School in Waterloo. Boo! I took the opportunity to go to Cameron Heights, and spend that much money on gas. Thank God I did. Had I never taken that out of whack step, I would never have known you amazing people. I wouldn't have experienced the joy and excitement of going to a building for 4 years with no windows. SJM may have windows, but Cameron Heights has heart. Yeah! I always heard people complaining about the lack of windows in our school, but realize this, and this is quite clever. Opportunity only knocks on doors, never on windows. So when you all go back home tonight, with smiles on your faces, diplomas in your hands, I want a sound to be playing in your head. And no, it's not me singing Kesha. It's this sound right here, which would work if this podium was wood, but... yeah, it's a knock. That's the sound of opportunity knocking. Are you answering the door, grads?